what is happening with the Kermadecs? They are to the north of North Island. Do they belong to Maori? Should they be part of a marine sanctuary? Marama Fox, you've called this a bit of a vanity project. That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
No, not at all. See, what the people don't understand is that the Ohukaimwana already had a self-imposed rāhui on those islands. And those islands are known to Māori as Rangita Huahua, and it was a stop-off point for waka on their way to Aotearoa. They were a key navigation point. So there was already a self-imposed sanctuary. What we don't want is the government who can come and write a piece of legislation over top of something they've already signed in 4-ish years ago, which was the fishery settlement.
What we don't want is we don't want people fishing in there. And what we do want is people like the newspaper a year ago, The Guardian, when it was announced, this is globally significant news. This is an extraordinary sanctuary, one of the largest in the world. This is something to be celebrated, and you're putting the kibosh on it.
They were already not fishing in there. That's the point. Māori understand kaitiakitanga, they understand rāhui, they already had a self-imposed conservation mind for that area, but the government have taken away a treaty right.
So what's the problem? What's the problem, James?
Well, the problem is Nick Smith. I mean, how do you take something that pretty much everybody in the country wanted, right? The Kermadecs are the jewel in the crown of marine protection. It's probably the most important sanctuary that New Zealand will ever do. It's huge. It's 15% of our EEZ, and Nick Smith managed to balls up something that pretty much the entire country was behind.
What do you reckon about this, Trevor? What went wrong here? Is it something we should be proud of?
Well, the methodology in this is nothing to be proud of at all. I mean, what went wrong was that John Key went and announced something without doing his homework. And you can't go to the United Nations and say we're going to do X without making sure that you've done all the work beforehand. Now, and he, after all the problems that Nick Smith's caused, relying on Nick Smith is just stupid.
No. But the thing is that this sanctuary put us on the world map. Remember when it was announced?
Yeah, we're on
it was extraordinary. It was a huge news.
On the world map, and we can't get legislation through for it because he's cocked it up.
Sarah, what are you...
Just honest to John
Sarah,
Key.
what do you say?
At the end of the day, this area houses fantastic ecology, it's unique ecology, and it deserves legal protection. Notwithstanding the process, we've undertaken to sit down with iwi and sit down with the Maori Party, and in good faith, open up negotiations. So, and we'll do that.
What about that? I mean, at the end of the day, to quote Sarah Dowie, this is about the fish, it's about ecology. You come in later on, but this is about the sort of hundreds of species. It's the second largest trench in the world.
And already protected, Wallace, already protected. Nobody is fishing there. This is not about that.
So what's it about? What's it about?
Because they want to take away a treaty right that is guaranteed in legislation. If they can do that over this bill, they can do it over any, and they should just have had the conversation first.
Yeah.
Regardless,
the
bill is on hold at the moment.
Regardless of whether we ignore
negotiations again, in good faith.
All right. What do you hope that'll happen, James?
Look, I hope they'll work it out. I mean, this is incredibly important, like you
were
saying.
Optimistic?
And, yes, I am optimistic actually, because I think that in the last few days, some adults have come in and started to, breathe through their noses and take it calmly and try and repair some of the damage that Nick Smith caused by this colossal stuff up. There are actually loads of examples in New Zealand where we have got this right. You look at the Uruwera settlement, you look at the Whanganui River. We've actually done this before. It's a solved problem.
Just break it down for people who might not be so into politics. If you don't have any desires or plans to fish in there, what's the problem with it?
Because what you're doing is you have an agreed treaty settlement, something which is legislated, and people are going right over the top and saying that doesn't count. And if you say that doesn't count for this one, who's going to say the next one and the one after that?
Can you understand that, Sarah?
But in all fairness, we've gone back to the table, and in good faith, we'll have these negotiations, and we'll work through the pros and cons, and I'm hopeful that we'll come to an outcome that's beneficial, and that this sanctuary will get across the line, because at the end of the day, it's unique ecology, it's very special, and we need to put it on the map.
All right, we'll come back to you. What about in the audience, Hayley? What do they think about this Kermadec sanctuary?
I'm just going to ask you right here, do you think we should just have the sanctuary and leave all the troubles behind us? We're splitting hairs?
I have no idea, to be honest. No comment.
I was going to go over here, but it's full of Green Party members, isn't it? So I know what they're going to say. What about you? Do you think we should have this Kermadec sanctuary?
I don't know the actual ins and out fully of it, but if it's going to save, the fisheries, because we already overfish the oceans, then as long as they can talk to the Māori and make sure it's okay with them, work around it, because there's the treaty settlements, but yeah, get a sanctuary going. Because you say it's freedom of choice not to fish, but there's still going to be people going out fishing and they'll be taking advantage of that. So get a sanctuary up, but just work it with Māori.
Did you think it was a bit silly not to work it with Māori in the first place?
Yeah, it probably is, but what does National do? They're a bunch of twats anyway.
Oh, well, no, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
And
I mean,
the
this
rest of the country's wrong. That's why we're governing.
Yeah, well,
democracy.
I mean, this is the deal, isn't it? And you see every second show about fishing. We're overfishing the world. Yeah. It's a major global issue. So,
we agree.
Do you agree with that?
We do agree,
I mean,
Wallace.
the fish. For example, if you look around the islands, for example, you've got Fiji. They're out. The tuna industry is broken. It's gone.
That's right.
So this needs to the fish trump the people, Marama.
No,
that's why I can't understand where you're coming from.
Wallace, we do agree, but there are examples all across the world where there are indigenous fishing rights observed inside sanctuaries. So the Inuit people, for example, they are allowed to whale for a small little portion of the time, and we're all going, "What? You're whaling?" But because they've observed their traditional rights, they're not allowed to put a great big boat in there.
Do you
they have
agree
to do
with
it
that,
traditionally.
James?
Yeah, well, Marama's right. There are a number of examples. I mean, they're quite different from each other and from what we're trying to do with the Kermadecs. But that I actually think that the main point here is that we've actually done this before in New Zealand, not with the marine sanctuary, but on land. I mean, we can do this.
All right, look, your thoughts on that at Backbenchers TV. Stay with us. We're back soon.